Welcome all you music fans out there. This is Soundtrack Hacks, and I'm your host, Bushrod Gitts. Now let's get jamming.
This is my second episode, and I thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to talk about killer bass lines. I know that is all relative to each individual listener, so let me tell you a few of my absolute favorites, then you can tell me some of yours. When I say killer bass lines, I'm talking about a groove that is so good that it sticks with you. If someone mentions the song, the bass melody immediately comes into your head before any other part. Think of some of the early classics that we all know, like Papa Was a Rolling Stone or Heard It Through the Grapevine. There are so many iconic bass lines like that out there that just about everyone can hum along with. There's even theme songs to movies like Jaws, for example, or TV shows like Night Court. But to make it clear, I'm not just talking about great bassists today. I'm talking about a bass line that can make the song or band sometimes, maybe even transcend a song. So if I leave out one of your favorite bassists, it's because I'm thinking about a single song or bass line instead of their whole catalog. And I will be leaving out some of my favorite bassists too, like Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, Joe Lally of Fugazi, Dan Maines of Clutch, or Grant Matthews of Rudimentary Peneye. There are so many others too. Like, I can't underestimate the talents of Les Claypool of Primus. But extending that list might be for another episode. Let me know if you'd like to continue that conversation at a later date. For now, let's get back to my favorite killer bass lines. I'd first like to give a shout out to what might be an obvious one. That should be a good example of what I mean. That is Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. When you hear it, you immediately know what it is and start to move to its rock and groove. There can't be a more popular example than that. But let me tell you my favorites, then you can let me know yours. For the first, I'm going to go back to 1970 with Green Eyed Lady by Sugarloaf. Right from the opening few notes, you can hear the amazing bass tone that Bob Raymond has dialed in. And that matches perfectly with the smooth, funky chorus riff that dominates the song and quickly gets stuck in your head. This is a song that opened my eyes to the 60s and 70s bass lines. So many were hidden low in the mix, or deemed as only a rhythm support, especially in the 60s recordings. But with technology today, I can hear them much better and really come to appreciate their contributions. Just a year later though, in 1971, the Alice Cooper Group wasn't mixing down Dennis Dunaway's killer bass line, pun intended, in Dead Babies. This song has what I consider one of the best bass lines in all of rock. I've had it rattling around in my skull since I first heard it as a preteen. Put the lyrical subject matter aside if you have to, and just listen to how creepy and cool the bass line is. Next, I'm going to jump over a decade to 1984 with Greg Norton's bass line on Standing by the Sea by Husker Du. Greg is a very underrated bassist. Probably because he was playing next to the legendary guitar player and singer Bob Mould, but Greg was super talented in his own right. He could play fast, he could play complex, or he could play something very mellow and hypnotic, like you can hear in Standing by the Sea. If you haven't yet, hunt it down and check it out. Maybe even further underground than Husker Du would be my next selection, That Girl by the Laughing Hyenas from 1987. Their bassist, Kevin Monroe, aka Kevin Strickland, has so many unforgettable, heavy bass lines with the Laughing Hyenas and later with Mule. But for me, That Girl stands out for how his bass really sets the mood and pulls the song along. His talent cannot be denied. If you haven't heard him yet, go check his stuff out. And let me stay in 1987 for one more with a cover tune, Move Right In by Rollins Band. Originally written by the Velvet Underground, but their version doesn't have any punch for me. Andrew Weiss, however, really took that bland bass line and juiced it up for the Rollins band's rendering of the tune. This cannot have been easy either. To make the bass stand out in a band with such pounding drums and guitar lines in this particular song that screams at you even harder than Henry does? But wow, did he pull out all of the stops. Just listen to how relentlessly it keeps moving and working. There's just so many bass lines out there that I got more. How about Dave Barb's performance in A Good Idea by Sugar in 1992? His bass line is not only distinctive, it drives the whole song and gets stuck in your head for days. If you give it a listen, remember, I warned you. Okay, this is my final mention for this episode. 1994's No Excuses by Alice in Chains. I'm not surprised this single charted so high. When you have a band with such an incredible singer, guitar player, and drummer, then adds such an addicting bass line to one of their jams, it was bound to be a hit. Mike Inez knocked it out of the park if he was going for a heavy and mellow at the same time, but that's exactly what he pulled off. He was even able to keep that smooth groove for their MTV Unplugged performance. Well, there you have it. Just one man's opinion, and I am sure I missed plenty. So maybe later I'll do a part 2 episode. For now, let me know what your favorite killer bass lines are and why.
I'd like to thank all you listeners for tuning in today. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe. Talk to you next time on Soundtrack Hacks.